Hey, I'm Cory. How's it going? We are counting down the final 30 minutes or so of the Wailing Citadel um, crowdfunding project on Gamefound, and it's been a exciting day. We are dangerously close to two more stretch goals. Don't know if we'll even get any pledges here in the last minutes because it is pretty late. But we are three backers away from unlocking the Leshy. And we are, maybe $270 in add-ons. And we'll get the one that James is here with me. James really wants the Boundless Book of Bounties.
I mean, it's in my opinion, it's probably one of the most useful asked for things. So often you'll get, people, you'll be playing with people and they have a question because they didn't write down what their item does in that random game that they played because the game went on for 5 hours and everyone was tired. Having something like this would just be something really convenient to have. I hope we get it.
Yeah, I hope we get it too. I don't want to do the work, but I hope we get it. There's a special trick on Gamefound, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think that if anybody pledges like more than $10 in the last half hour, or maybe it's the last 10 minutes, I don't know, it extends the project 10 more minutes, but you can only do it once. And so I've heard of things where it goes on for another, half hour, 40 minutes beyond what the end date was, just because a couple people wanted to make those stretch goals. So if you do, that is an option. Or you could put us out of our misery and get them sooner. That would be great too. And if we don't get another penny, we've had a really great run. This is a record setter. We funded in 1 hour and 2 minutes. The previous record was several days. So, we've had a great final week. A really good chunk came in, and that's how we unlocked the 8 different stretch goals. So I thought it might be fun for people, even if nobody's watching now, and they want to go back and check it out. The original, I have the original Wailing Citadel here, so I'll put it on camera. It is carved out of foam and not too sexy, but that's best you could do with thick insulation foam. And let's see, the back comes off somewhere here. There it is. The back comes off, and I think when we played with this back in the day, I don't even remember. I know we never played WitchBorn with this. This was probably back in the days when I had created a hybrid rule system for D&D, and I was the DM, and we were using basically the combat system that we use now for the WitchBorn, but this was 20 years ago, so it was I don't remember how I did it, but there was some kind of big terrain map, and the citadel was raised up, and you had to climb up to the top. I don't think I carved it out of foam. I don't remember how I did it, but there was set encounters, like you met some ghostly shades at point A, and you enter, room B, and there was a planned encounter there, and then the big battle with the Banshee was the top floor of the Citadel. So quite different. I don't know if anybody watched the the live stream of Faithless yesterday, but you know, that came from all that work, 20 years ago playing D&D. So
Yeah.
kind of fun.
That game was actually almost a close call too.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that you and I got our mages on the battle map when we did, I don't think that we would have won that game.
Yeah, because you had to take the wedding gifts all the way from one side of the battle map to the other. So that was crazy. The fact that you had a flying mount really helped.
Yeah, especially one that was able to fly, 16 as fast as it could, as it did.
Yes. Yes, that
Yeah,
was.
and I think that game, more than anything, Faithless as a game will teach you not necessarily, cheesing it, but being smart about how you plan for handling encounters,
Yeah.
right?
And
Because I think,
it's kind of fun to
yeah,
talk to the other players too and go, hey, what should I do here?
uh-huh,
So
yeah, like as experienced as I am playing the game, I've been playing since probably the second year you were selling at Gen Con, maybe even the first year, but you know, I still will ask, as experienced as I am, it's like, hey, this is my plan, unless anyone else needs me to do something different to help them with something. Because at the end of the day, for like those cooperative games, it's about working together in order to, both win, but also have a good time. Because at the end, even if you win, if it was boring, it doesn't really feel like you won. It just kind of felt like you sat around and rolled dice for a couple hours and nothing really happened, right?
yeah, exactly. And I don't think you and I could have more different styles of play, and that's
Sure.
what's really cool about. I'm kind of been pushing the online group in this campaign just because I really think it's one of the futures of the WitchBorn is it's so great to be able to play with such a diversity of players and
Absolutely.
people from all over. Yesterday we had somebody in Belgium playing with us, that we had just met for the first time, and that was so cool, because here we go, different understanding of the rules and that helps me as the creator too, because I can go in and go, oh, this rule is unclear,
Yeah.
and so we can fix that up, and that's part of what makes the living rule book so special is James keeps me on my toes. We're doing quarterly changes, and we've got a few other online players that are like, my experience in gaming is very small. It's like when I was a kid, I learned how to play D&D, and I thought, my God, this is the greatest game ever invented, and the kind of the cornerstone of my life. It's a really weird thing, but James Clavell wrote a book called Shogun, and they started to make it into a miniseries, and you've probably seen the real good one on Hulu recently. But that inspired Gary Gygax to do Oriental Adventures, which was like, hey, D&D isn't perfect. Let's change a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, oh, you're allowed to change things? That's amazing. Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's where I started to create the WitchBorn. It took me a long, long time if we're talking, early 90s till now, but that was kind of the game changer. So
Yeah.
I am.
And I think that to some extent, the game changer going into the third edition has been the reemergence of us playing tabletop RPGs. a couple years back, was it 2021?
Yeah, I think
4
so.
years now.
I think so, yeah.
After I helped Cory out at Gen Con and Origins, I offered to start running the new version of D&D for him. We cycled through a couple of different systems. We played D&D 5th edition, we played Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I like to think that that's kind of given you some ideas of, some ways to kind of help move forward.
Sorry for the echo there. I'm trying to get a link to share online here. Copy.
All good.
And I will get out of there so that we don't get that terrible repeat. Oh, you know what? I need to... I'm going to post this link in the Gamefound announcements just in case anybody wants to jump on at the last second.
Yeah. Well, this is also an awesome time for people to ask questions about stuff and get a live answer from, you, the creator, or, me, the person who helps out when I can.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm a little distracted working off to the side here, but yeah, 8 stretch goals complete. Doesn't look like we're going to get to the last 2, but we've still got 17 minutes left, so who knows? Conclusion. I should probably slow down and type in English here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Live now. All right. Let's see if they will let me send this without a picture. They will. How nice.
Brilliant.
All right. So I just sent the link. If you guys aren't familiar with the WitchBorn YouTube site, you can still get in on this before we finish up. And there we go. I want to, yeah, we've got probably James watching right now, and that's it. But
I do have it up so that I can see, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to see the prop of the Wailing Citadel. But hey, the videos, as long as you're uploading the videos as like archives, anyone will be able to watch
later on.
So,
yep. This is the actual box that you're going to be getting, and it is quite hefty. It taps out at about 10.5 pounds with all the stuff.
Can't wait.
The Curse of the Wanderers has been out, but I figured that, I'd love to bundle it with the game so that everybody has every possible war clan now.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you know this, James, the Dark Elves got put into the starter sets. And so one of the cool things that we unlocked, God, I don't even remember which day, maybe Friday, Saturday, somewhere in there.
I think that it was Friday, because you talked about it on stream yesterday before we started the game.
Yeah, so that
third edition.
That Daughters of Twilight stretch goal is pretty cool. Let me see if I can get to it quickly here for the live stream stretch goals. And then basically what we did with elves, the original, if you're like a longtime player, I took the elves book just this beginning of this year and I changed it to the fairies book. And I have this concept where there's going to be 6 different kinds of fairies that you can play. And right now it is the waves and the seeds. And it was always intended that the dark elves would be part of that. And there's 3 more beyond that. So there's 4 kinds of fairies still coming to the living rulebook, but this succeeding, this will give me a kick in the butt to actually work on the dark elves, because we're gonna add that. And the way we work is we play test all this stuff. That's what the online group is really good for. And I'm gonna make some changes, like the Black Anise. Before, it used to be a roll of luck if you got a Black Anise on your clan. Now it's going to be, I want a Black Anise. Okay, well, you pay the gold and you've got one, And so they may be a little tougher in the new version. And then there's all kinds of creepy dark fae that I'm going to add. James has actually been working on Gorgons for me, so
Yep.
they will probably be paragons in this, and
Yeah.
that should be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Cory gave me a little bit of free reign to, add a little bit of outside perspective, and there was always a Gorgon that existed. You might get lucky and see them in either the pit or Nightfall, the cooperative adventure that takes place over the whole map. But, Cory and I were talking, and that was the only one. And so I dreamed up an idea for an adventure that would involve some lore for Gorgons, and Cory said, yeah, go for it. So I wrote some stuff up, and he liked it, and I think conceptually it'll be really interesting, because it'll definitely be a different kind of Daughters of Twilight clan too, because it'll put a heavier emphasis on their ultimate task, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do want to thank whoever just upped their pledge there. We didn't get a new backer, but right before the live stream went live, somebody dumped out, and now 2 people have, at least 2 people, maybe 3 people have added. Oh gosh, there goes another one, a new backer. Thank you. The reporting system is not great on Gamefound, so I can't see if you add, unless you're a new backer. So thank you for everybody who's adding to the add-ons. We may still catch that Boundless book before it's done. And thank you, Tristan. Long time player. I mean, he started when he was about 15 or 16 years old, before the game even existed. And he jumped in, and he got a couple add-ons. So depending on how things go, I think we might catch the Boundless Book of Bounties. And we're only 2 away from the Leshy, 2 new backers away from the Leshy. Right before, earlier this evening, there was 2 people that took me up on my offer, and they pledged $1, And I said, doesn't matter how much you pledge, we just need 92 backers to hit that goal, And so 2 people did the $1, and I was like, this is my 6th crowdfunding project, and I've never had anybody take me up on that offer. And so 2 people did it this time. So I was really pleased by that. That was awesome. And we've pushed this over $26,000, which is freaking amazing for an expansion, right? Because this is only second to Enter Perdition, which was a starter set. It was complete what was complete at the time. The new starter set's much better, but yeah. So that's great. It's going to be my fastest funding and second most successful. I'm so pleased.
Yeah.
I've gotten some really nice notes from folks too that have been, in it for the long haul, and they're loving the living rule book. And there's a couple people who it's like, oh, we haven't been playing the last couple years after we played Field of Scream so much, and we're excited to get back and try 2 new adventures.
Yeah. I think that for me and for a lot of people, the thing that most people find great about WitchBorn in general is how easy it is to reach out to the creator and ask questions about intentions. When the first version of the rule books that you were selling came out, there was so much left up to interpretation that you might go to 4 different groups and they're all playing the game 4 different ways because of the way that they as a group understood the rules.
Right.
And you and I have talked about this before, probably not on stream, but that was a big reason for why you made the leap for the 3rd edition rules, is because you wanted the rules to be better understood. And I think that that's the great part about the community on Discord that has been built over the last 5 years is it gives you an outlet for, well, hey, people don't understand this rule. I should Cory should rewrite and clarify this so that anyone who picks up the book can read that and understand exactly how it's meant to be played.
Exactly. And the other thing that happens too is people will get clever and they'll start combining skills and artifacts and stuff in a weird way, and it comes with a unintended negative consequence for people they're playing against, and the biggest thing that if there's a change to the rule, it's either for clarification or it's for game balance. We don't want somebody to have that unstoppable war clan. And I don't think I've ever said this online, but I have a friend, Todd, who actually helped write the original version of Wandering for us. So he has a little credit in the book. And he wrote some of the funnier encounters like Crowshanks and stuff. So I want to make sure he gets the credit. But he had this dwarf war clan where, I am not lying, he had 3 guys that were 7 strength, 2 guys that were 6 strength, and I think another 4 that were 5 strength. And this was before it was common to die in the game. And he got to the point where nobody wanted to play him because he was just amazing at rolling 11s and getting strength bumps on his guys every time he leveled up. And it was just, there was no way to play him. And, that kind of, like, how do we get that back in balance? And it's like, well, characters are going to have to die. You just can't have everybody in your clan be a superhero. And that's when the game kind of took the twist to horror, because it was originally more D&D based. And so that's around the time I got the idea for the WitchBorn. And when you think of that 7 strength dwarf dying and becoming WitchBorn, and now he's 8 strength and everything else and turning on your war clan, it really gets ugly.
Yeah.
So
I think that the other really good thing about the 3rd edition rules, one of the problems that I initially ran into with 2nd edition rules was, at a certain point, you ran out of stuff to buy.
That's a good point. Yeah. And
you got to an absolute upper limit of damage and defense and mobility that you could get from your weapons, armor, and skills outside of the ability score bonuses. And so I think I did the math one time, and theoretically, with the old school elves, you could get every relevant piece of gear that you could potentially want for about 450 gold.
Wow.
And I know it's crazy, right? To think that it's really that little, but that's putting a nemesis bow on like 5 people. Wow. They was putting a nemesis bow on every single person that did not have agility access. That was putting the best possible armor on them without suffering speed penalties. That's getting special arrows.
And so even factoring in skills and artifacts, you'd be, at most 1,000 points, so that's...
Right, exactly. And if you're just factoring in skills, assume that you did not win a single game and that you never got a single additional piece of gear from anywhere, you're looking at maybe 700 points in value total, which is just insane to think about.
Yeah.
But with the advent of the 3rd edition rules, that number has basically exponentially increased because there's an exponential variety of items that you can get access to as part of the war clans now. And it also shifted it away from, I know one of your big pushes is it's not fun if everybody builds each war clan the same way. Encouraging war clan build diversity has, I know, been one of your greatest pushes. And I think
sure,
3rd edition has done a really good job with that, because almost any combination of warriors just works. There isn't a point anymore where it's like, I have to have this lineup of guys, and I never want to see this guy, because in a lot of war clans, there's a really good reason to buy the cheap guy, because he's actually useful.
Yeah, the companion and the guild is just one of my favorites,
Shield maidens, the Leshy from the seas, the sea skippers from the waves, the squires. Every war clan has their cheap warrior in order to allow you to, get some of the more expensive ones. I've built war clans where I have leftover money because I got all the ones I wanted because I wanted the cheap guys. Not just so I could save money, but because I actually wanted to use them.
Right.
Because they were useful. And I think that's one of the really great things about the new rules, and I'm looking forward to personally how that's going to happen with the Daughters of Twilight.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second, James. We're inside 1 minute, and we're going to finish at a very satisfying number. So I'm going to unlock the Boundless Book of Bounties and say we made it.
Okay.
We came up a little short, but who's going to know?
Anyone who watches this stream, huh?
Yep, that's about it. And currently it's me and you, so...
So how short did we actually come up to it?
I have to manually calculate it, so I think we were about $150 short, so I'm not going to feel bad.
Oh, yeah. Given that this is the second best funded thing and the fastest funded.
Yep, 210. We hit it. Official. We did 307.5% of the budget. 9 of 12 stretch goals were unlocked. Wow.
90 backers. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, it was interesting. This one was a lot of people who were new and they went all in, or else they were, experienced players and just got Wailing Citadel and they didn't need anything else. So it was a real diversity of,
Yeah.
but gosh, exciting. I want to thank everybody. It is, I'm the one-man band other than my free helpers who you see at shows and that kind of stuff, and all the online testers and everything. But it's all the stupid marketing and all the fun writing and all the fun creating. I do that, and then I get the feedback from you guys. And a successful Kickstarter is the kind of feedback I want. I crave. It's just very rewarding for me, and to get kind notes back saying how much you enjoy the game, that's even better. And you've given me about a year's worth of work to complete all these stretch goals, and I love it. That's good. We're gonna be doing the pledge manager. I think, I'm not even sure the dates. I think it opens in December and closes at the end of January, and we'll start getting everything out, and it will be out by April. So it's great news for everybody. It's not like that year or two long wait. You'll get your finished box before some of the stretch goals are even done. But luckily they're digital, so you'll have the living rule book, and you'll be able to get the Daughters of Twilight that way, or I'll just email you a copy, and that kind of stuff. So it's going to work out fantastic. I want to thank Gamefound. I've tried Kickstarter and BackerKit, and they don't care about the creators at all, unless you're Brandon Sanderson and making them $12 million. Gamefound, had a dedicated person that I could ask questions, and it made big difference. I also want to thank my wife Deb. She's the this is sort of a non-for-profit job for me, and so she has supported the WitchBorn all these years, and I couldn't do it without you, Deb. So I thank you, and James, and all the folks who play online. You can't imagine how important you are to the development of the game. It's your positive and your negative feedback that makes it better. And I've got some buddies that they've been playing it since it started in my basement. So I want to thank Tim and Chris and Todd and David and Jason and Ruben and Charles and Rob and the other Rob and Robbie Jr. and I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, Patrick and Billy and Declan, and I mean, these are some of the guys from long ago. My nephew Jack, and of course my son Zach, who for a while he was the greatest WitchBorn player in the world. Nobody could beat him in a head-to-head game, but he got married and moved away, so he plays a lot less now. But thank you all. You've been great, and this is more successful than I could have imagined. Broke some records, and thank you. All right, so James and I will chat for a couple more minutes, and then we'll call it a night. Thanks again.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Cory. You put all of this work in because you enjoy, getting to play it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the job I was created for, right? I grew up as a comic book reader and a gamer and, well, a D&D player. How about that? And
I think you can classify that as a gamer.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
yeah. And that's my, that's worked out because I've got, I started off my career as an illustrator and always wanted to be a writer and learned how to do art direction, and I worked with some great photographers over my career and learned some tricks from them. So it's been great. So
Yeah.
wow.
Well, it really shows that you've done a lot of art stuff in all the books. Because I think that's at conventions especially, the art is what draws people.
Yeah.
know?
And I don't that Field of Screams image. I did not take that photograph. I retouched that photograph, but I did not take that. And that is, for whatever reason, that just appeals to people. Field of Screams did so well in aftermarket sales. It really carried it. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. So
Well, more than anything, that kind of visceral image is eye-catching, right?
yeah,
A lot of horror games or dark fantasy have zombies and the undead. But, you took a really interesting spin on that with how WitchBorn work, right? Where they're not really zombies because zombies are generally classified as fairly mindless.
right.
They're also not quite vampires because, most of them are not the same person that died. There's a couple of rare ones out there, as people will find as they play the game. But, it's a really interesting twist. And, throwing scarecrows in there as golems and some of them are even witchborn. It can be kind of horrifying to play that adventure because you never know when a gaggle of scarecrows are going to show up, kidnap one of your guys, and then you've got to go save them. So,
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up here, and James and I might continue to chat offline, but I want to thank everybody one last time, and this is going to be great. I can't wait to start getting boxes out to you. It's going to be something to really look forward to this spring, I hope. And in the meantime, please check us out on Discord. We want more players online. The most games we've ever run on a Tuesday night is four games at once, but we've got room to do 10. So let's get more players, more diversity. Bring your friends, or sign up and learn how to play. That's even another great thing. So, all right, signing off. Thank you guys.